Well, breaking news in Formula One as Michael Andretti's Andretti F1 has been rejected. Yep, Andretti won't be on the F1 grid apparently anytime soon, with F1 issuing a statement making their feelings clear on the subject. Let's get into it. This is reported by a few people, but planetf1.com is the first one I looked at. Formula One has issued a statement rejecting the Andretti global entry into Formula One over the coming seasons. Andretti's attempt to enter Formula One over the coming seasons have been brutally rejected by F1, says the story, with a full assessment offered by the sport to clarify the reasons for the objections. Now, as we know, last year the FIA invited applicants. Andretti was the only successful applicant when looked at and when scrutinised by the FIA. So, and that, I mean, at the moment, that's pretty much it. Let's see what the race says here. F1 formally rejects Andretti in emphatic statement. This is from the race. Formula One has rejected the bid for the new, bear in mind, this is the new General Motors backed Andretti Global. This is despite the FIA's approval. F1's governing body announced late last year that Andretti had gone past the FIA, the FIA checked, a big thumbs up, and they're going to run the Andretti Cadillac banner. But Andretti still needed to clear a major hurdle, and this was gaining Formula One's approval as well. This always looked like it was potentially going to be a tall order, with people like James Vowles, Toto Wolff and others coming out in the media as well around the American Grand Prix saying, no, they want to keep more of that pie, and they made it clear there was no appetite to expand the grid at all, even though the grid is able to have, I think, another 2 teams. Now, F1's emphasis has been on a potential new team, proving it would add enough to make it worth the dilution, let's say, of this prize fund, as the race says, and destabilising the 10-team structure that Liberty Media's priority since taking over Formula One ahead of that 2017 season. Now, according to F1, which has conducted an in-depth commercial assessment, Andretti has not proven it would add to the offset in relation to the downsides and potential risks, or proven it would be competitive, and F1 does not believe it should be allowed an entry. This is absolutely fascinating. It was literally only yesterday I said there's no way they're going to deny the entry. It is unclear exactly where that leaves Andretti, as having FIA approval but no commercial deal with F1 is an unprecedented situation. Andretti may try to challenge F1's decision through legal challenges, or seek to resolve it in private in the hope of rescuing the entry, else it would going to have to withdraw its plans. So this would be a massive blow for the organisation, given it has invested heavily in preparing for its entry. We saw, it has a wind tunnel model. It's got people at Silverstone. It's got people at their base in Charlotte. The news that F1 is rejecting Andretti on commercial grounds is unlikely to help ease that F1 FIA relations, given that it was the President Ben Salem who started this process in early 23 and who has publicly spoken about the merits he sees in the project. And I think this is one of the few times that more fans are on the side of the FIA wanting another new team, and it is going to be extremely divisive amongst fans here who have voiced disagreement with F1's closed shop. Absolutely it will. I mean, the member discussion here on the race, this is only minutes ago. It said they really should just cap entries at 10 teams, someone says. Another one said Formula One seems a weird point right now. It's prioritising the wrong things. We don't want more street tracks, but they keep adding them, correct? Losing great proper tracks along the way. And 2 more cars would make it more interesting. Absolutely it would. Now, in terms of, they use the terms competitiveness, but then I'm going to have to argue, look at Haas and look at potentially the Stake F1 team and look at the name. I mean, it doesn't even scream F1, the Stake F1 team. The ridiculous name that the former Toro Rosso AlphaTauri team has as well, the Visa Cash App. Oh my gosh, what a mouthful. This will be, and let's be honest, the name Andretti Cadillac, if that was their name, rolls off the tongue a lot better. So in terms of commercial, bearing in mind Gene Haas, during obviously the 2020 etc, was going to slam dunk and very nearly stopped the operation obviously that was, you know, things that you can't even plan for. What happened this year, and someone else has put, this is either going to court or Gene Haas is going to be convinced to sell. Either way, it's going to be messy. A bad decision by F1. Absolutely, it is a bad decision by F1. Also, on race fans, I don't think there's going to be anything new here. Andretti's application, FOM have determined here that accepting Andretti joining the grid not in and of itself provide value to the championship. At the moment, I say let's wait and see as to the reasons why. I'm no expert. I really doubt those reasons. I mean, bear in mind the FIA has accepted them. The FIA has accepted them, and with that, it means they have enough money and they have enough funds. They're backed by one of the biggest car companies in the world. So the fund is going to be there, and there was even talk of them not accepting Andretti, but accepting the engines from General Motors. But General Motors have said no, it's Andretti or bust. So this is really Formula One throwing egg potentially all over its stuff. Is it really a need, or is it the fact that they need just 10 teams, or is it absolute greed? I guess time will tell. We'll probably be back to talk about it more. But breaking here, Andretti's bid, very, very surprisingly rejected. Stay tuned. We'll probably be back later on this evening to discuss it. I'm in absolute shock.